Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. I am still in the process of catching up with my reviews of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest after some pretty significant delays in my latest batch turning up. So today we are going to look at issue 72. For those of you who don't know what Warhammer 40,000 Conquest is, it is a Partworks magazine from Hachette Publishing in association with Games Workshop. It comes out every week, priced at $7.99, but as a subscriber I get 4 issues once a month in a bundle. The magazine introduces you to all aspects of Warhammer 40,000, that is painting and playing, and you normally get some plastic miniatures with the magazine. With this issue we are getting a set of Chaos Spawn. So before we take a look at the magazine itself, let's take a quick look at the frame. So here we have our Chaos Spawn frame, and it does look quite daunting if this is something you haven't seen a lot of, because it's a very modular kit. Chaos Spawn are obviously very varied, no two are alike, and therefore the kit has lots and lots of different components, so you can make them tentacly or spiky or blinky with lots of eyes. And there are enough components on here to make 2 Chaos Spawn, and I think you get all the bits and bobs to make them for any Chaos alignment you so wish. Obviously we will be building these for Nurgle for the Death Guard force. This is a pretty old kit. It's been knocking about for years. I wonder if it has a date on the sprue, and is that a date? It does, there you go, it is dated 2007, so this is a pretty old sprue. And something I have actually just noticed is that it has some really nasty mould lines. I don't know if they're going to come out on camera, but really ghastly mould lines. Some of the worst mould lines I have seen in a very long time. Really showing up quite a lot there. Maybe showing up even more so because of the green plastic. But yes, lots of cleanup required. But regardless of it being an old frame, and regardless of the mould lines, this is quite an expensive frame. If you were to go into a Warhammer store and purchase this frame off the shelf, you would be paying £25. Paying $7.99 for this issue of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest means that you are making a saving of £17 and a penny, which is fantastic value in anybody's book. And yeah, it's quite interesting. It's because it's got all these different options. You can really go to town on making it the way you want, and it's got some pretty clever modularity. It's like we've got this chest piece here, and it's got a hole in it with teeth in it, so you can leave it like that. However, you can also plonk a head into that recess and cover up those teeth, and then you've got a head like this lovely insectoid head, maybe, which would be a good choice for a Nurgle Chaos Spawn. Lots of stuff going on there, and lots of options to make it how you want. And like I say, that does perhaps seem a little bit daunting if you haven't seen this kind of really customizable kit before, but I am sure that with a little bit of playing around, anybody should be able to come up with some pretty interesting beasties with it. So that's good value. So this is issue 72 of an 80 issue run, so we are getting pretty close to the wire now. The run is coming to an end. And somebody did say in the comments to one of my earlier videos that they had checked with Hachette Publishing, and Hachette had confirmed that 80 issues is it. They are not going to be extending the run. Whether they will or not, that remains to be seen, but that is what I have been told. So until I hear otherwise, that is what I'm going to believe. So these magazines have a very standard format. We have a fluff section at the front, and obviously the first thing we get is a little bit on Chaos Spawn with some beautiful imagery there, some nightmare fuel for the kiddies. Welcome to the world of Warhammer 40,000. You will never leave. So we've got some bits on Chaos Spawn as you would expect, but not very much on Chaos Spawn. We are then going on to Gene Stealer cults. We've got a little bit on Gene Stealers. So just dotting about now, really. We're just filling in the gaps in the fluff sections. At this point, They've done all they're going to do really on Nurgle and Death Guard and Space Marines in general. So we're just fleshing out our knowledge with the last few bits and bobs of information. We've got a brood cycle here, talking about how gene stealers infest a place. And then we've got a showcase of miniatures, as we have been having for quite a few issues. And that looks like the Patriarch miniature from Death Watch Overkill, which is the board game that I did a deep dive review of not so long ago. A very good board game with some really lovely miniatures, a really cool Death Watch squad that have arrived on a mining colony to clear out a gene stealer infestation. Good source of really good miniatures and a good game in its own right with some really interesting mechanisms. Moving on. More miniatures, and then we've got a little bit on the Stormhawk Interceptor with our top trump style classification of abilities, and then some different colorways. And yes, as great as they may be, everybody knows that the best aircraft in Warhammer 40,000 is this one, the Dakar Jet. You gotta love a Dakar Jet. And then we're into our building section. So that's enough of the fluff. We go to our building section. How are they going to handle this? Because obviously this is a very modular kit. Lots of stuff you can do with it. So they can't just show you well, what are they going to do? This kit can be assembled in a huge variety of ways. Our painting guide will show you how to paint the spawn shown above. So they're going to show us how to build the spawn. But obviously you have a lot more options available to you. This is one of the most complicated kits they have included, if not the most complicated, just because of the numerous options available. So we've got all the different components broken down into their interchangeable parts. So we've got heads, arms, claws, tentacles, spikes, blinky eyes and tails. And they've specified here bits not to use because these bits are related to other chaos gods. So you don't want to be using those components on your Nurgle beasties. And then after breaking down exactly what you're getting, they're showing you the exact build requirements to get these chaps here. Quite clear instructions, and not very many of them really, considering the number of options on the kit. And then we're going straight into painting. Painting your Chaos Spawn. As always, these painting guides are pretty comprehensive, and you get good tabletop quality results. They're very thorough. I do like the blowout images that show you exactly what you're painting. What are they doing to this one? It's got a green body and then a black head. That doesn't look so good. Let's see where they go with that. And then, oh, fantastic. Details on painting eyes. And those look really good. Those look really good. That looks fantastic. Oh, they've done a cracking job on that. Oh, I want to build one of mine like that with a big blinky eye. May do that. But yeah, what have they done to this one? That, to me, that does not look good. That just really, the black areas with the green body, that, nope, not for me. I'm not keen on that at all. I don't like that head anyway. That head doesn't look great. Seeing it painted looks worse than it did on the sprue. Yeah. Good job. Not so good job. Opinions may vary. And then we have moved on to Grandfather's Gift. This is a new scenario. Hunt the Spawn. What have we got here? It says, Governor Tarch's ritual has gone horribly wrong, transforming her and General Redgar into ravenous chaos spawn. These things will happen sometimes. You gotta watch out for the small print. The Space Marines must stop them from escaping the ritual site. Even cursed as spawn, they are valuable symbols to the rebels that must be destroyed. Death can be the only fate for the traitors. So, we've got 3 maps. The Space Marines coming in from this side. Death Guard over here. And then we've got the ritual site. I guess that is where we are. We've got some 3 hatches. Right. Roll off, and starting with the winner, take turns placing battle mats. When the hatches have been placed, set up the rest of the terrain in an agreed manner. So what are we doing? Building your own armies based on the Battleforge rules that they've covered in previous issues, except the Death Guard player obviously must have some Chaos Spawn and some Chaos Cultists that have performed the ritual. The victory conditions are eliminating an enemy unit for 1 victory point, eliminating a Warlord for 1 victory point. If both Chaos Spawn are eliminated, the Space Marine player gains 3 victory points. The Death Guard player gains 1 victory point for each model slain by a Chaos Spawn. The game lasts 5 battle rounds. Right. There we go. So what are the hatches for then? Right, down here. Infantry units may move onto the board from the hatches instead of the edge. So it's a way of deep striking into the board. And then we have our stat sheet for the Chaos Spawn. Well, that's quite nice, isn't it? That's a slightly different to an objective grab. It's more of an assassination mission. The Space Marines trying to take down those 2 Chaos Spawn. The Chaos Spawn obviously are melee units, so they're getting 1 victory point for each enemy they kill, each model, but they've obviously got to survive a hail of fire to get into that position to rack up those victory points. So it's one of those missions that's encouraging you to put your valuable victory points in a position where they can be taken out, but it's your best option of gaining victory points in return. Good stuff. And that's it. And at the back we have an advertisement for Warhammer stores, because the magazine is coming to an end. And what do you do when you're not getting your Games Workshop goodies sent through the post? You head to your Warhammer store and you pay full retail. Bring us the money. So next issue we have our technical paints. We have Nihilak Oxide and Nurgle's Rot. And then in issue 74 we have our Death Guard Tallyman, Count the 7. It's a great miniature, and didn't already have that, so that's exciting. Looking forward to that. But that is it. That is everything in this particular issue. As always, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put up a running total. That is the cost of subscribing to the magazine at the cover price versus the price of all of the products that have come with the magazine at full retail. So not taking into account any online discounts, but also not taking into account the value of the magazine or any subscriber benefits. And hopefully some people will find that interesting. But that is it from me for now. Thank you so much for listening. If you have liked the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you have really liked the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.